Good morning, dear students. I am Zina Coelho, Head Department of Chemistry. A warm welcome to all of you for the year 2020-21. This year you will have a total of 150 marks for chemistry. Okay? 100 marks for the theory paper and 50 marks for practical paper. Out of 100 marks, 80 marks for the actual theory paper and 20 marks for internal assessment. So total will be 100. Okay. On the other hand, out of 50 marks for practicals, 40 marks for the actual practical class, that means practical exam, and 10 marks for preparatory exam. Textbooks are not available in bookshops. Association of Chemistry Teachers of Mangalore University is going to supply textbooks. Most probably by the end of next week we will get the textbooks. Alright. Please do not buy old textbooks as the syllabus has been changed this year. Today I am going to start the chapter 2 chemical bonding of unit 2. Alright. So we will move to the next slide. Okay. What is a chemical bond? The force of attraction which binds together the atoms in a molecule is called a chemical bond. So it is a bond which holds together, okay, or binds together the atoms or ions in a molecule. Next slide. There are number of chemical bonds. Okay. Different types of chemical bonds based on how the bond is formed. Now, which are the important types of chemical bonds? First one is covalent bond. It is formed by the mutual sharing of electron pairs between the two atoms. Okay, you can see the example. Okay, you can see the example over here. Hydrogen atom combines with another hydrogen atom, forming one hydrogen molecule, right? So the bond formed between two hydrogen atoms, okay, or two similar atoms is what? A covalent bond. Okay. Next, ionic bond. Alright, ionic bond. How it is formed? Ionic bond is formed by the complete transference of one or more electrons from the valence shell of one atom, okay, to the valence shell of another atom. It is the transference of one or more electrons, okay, from one atom to the other atom, from the valence shell to the other atom valence shell. Alright. So example given is sodium and chlorine. What is the atomic number of sodium? Sodium atomic number is 11. Alright. So it has got one electron in the outermost orbital. Okay. Similarly, chlorine atomic number 17, it has got 7 electrons. You can see here, okay. 7 electrons are present in the outermost shell. By acquiring one electron which is present in the sodium outermost shell, so it will pull the electron of sodium electron, forming one or completing its octet structure. Okay, what do you mean by octet structure? 8. So chlorine will fulfill its octet structure, thus sodium ion is formed, that is positive ion is formed, and chlorine negative ion is formed. And this bond which is formed between the sodium ion and the chloride ion, okay, that is called what? Ionic bond. Alright, ionic bond. Next slide. Another type of bond is what? Metallic bond. Okay, metallic bond. Now how it is formed? It is formed from the electrostatic attractive force between the conduction of electrons and positively charged metal ions. Or in other words, it is the bond formed between the positive ions, okay, positively charged metal ions, and the moving electrons, okay, conduction of electrons or moving electrons. See, strong force of attraction is present in metals between positive metal ions and electrons, okay. That bond is called what? Metallic bond, okay, metallic bond. Next type of bond is called hydrogen bond, okay. How it is formed? It is formed by the electrostatic attraction between what? Proton of one molecule and electronegative atom of the another molecule, okay. So it is bond formed between proton or hydrogen of one molecule and the electronegative atom of another molecule. Okay, you can see here hydrogen bond given. Okay, there is a negative ion, there is a positive ion here, there is a positive ion. Okay, for example, water. Water has got two positive ions, right? Okay, two H plus ions and then one O minus, okay, O2 minus, in the other words O2 minus. So positive ion, that is H plus ion, and then the negative oxide ion, okay, there exists what? A weak bond, okay, weak bond. So that bond is known as hydrogen bond. Next slide, covalent bond. We shall study here in detail how a covalent bond is formed. A covalent bond is formed by the mutual sharing of electron pairs between the two atoms, right? So it is formed by the mutual sharing of electron pairs between the two atoms. Now what is the nature of covalent bond? The covalent bond is formed between elements, okay, of same electronegativity. So in order to form covalent bond, there must be two atoms, okay, having of the elements having same electronegativity. The covalent compounds usually have lower melting points than ionic compounds. So covalent bonds, since they are weak compared to ionic bonds, they have got a lower melting point. Okay. So we shall move to the next slide. Valence bond theory of covalent bond. Now what is the valence bond theory? What are the postulates of valence bond theory of covalent bond? Okay. So first it was proposed by Hitler at London and modified later by Pauling and Slater. Okay. It is used to explain the structure of organic molecules. So it will explain the structure of organic molecules. Now what are the postulates? How it is formed? Okay. The first postulate says that it is formed by the overlap of atomic orbitals having unpaired electrons with the opposite spin. So covalent bond is formed by the overlap of atomic orbitals. Okay. So overlap of atomic orbitals takes place. Okay. But these overlapping orbitals must contain unpaired electrons. Okay, with the opposite spin. Second postulate, the individual atomic orbitals retain their identity in the molecule. Okay. So when the molecule is formed, the individual atomic orbitals retain their identity. Okay. Third postulate. What does the third postulate says? The unpaired electrons get paired up, okay, during the overlap of atomic orbitals. Since combining atomic orbitals contain unpaired electrons, when they combine, okay, overlap of atomic orbitals takes place, okay, what happens? Electrons get paired up. The pair of electrons are localized between the atoms, and these pair of electrons are present in between the atoms, or in other words, they are localized between the atoms. Fourth postulate, when there are more atomic orbitals possessing unpaired electrons, then more number of bond can be formed. Okay. Suppose you got more than one, okay, atomic orbitals are present having unpaired electrons, then more than one bond can be formed. Okay. Then fifth postulate says that electrons which are already paired in the valence shell cannot participate in the bond formation. Suppose you got already paired electrons in the valence shell, they cannot participate in bond formation. Okay. Then sixth postulate. Now what does the sixth postulate says? The strength of bond formed increases with increase in the extent of overlap. That means as the extent of overlap of atomic orbitals takes place, the strength of the bond increases. Okay, strength of the bond increases. The shape of the molecule formed is determined by the direction in which the orbitals are point. Okay, shape of the molecule formed that depends upon the direction in which the orbitals are present. Okay. The seventh postulate says the closer the valence shell orbital to the nucleus, okay, higher is the extent of overlap and higher is the bond energy. Suppose if the valence shell orbital is closer to the nucleus, okay, then extent of overlap will be higher, okay, and what about bond energy? That also will be higher, okay. So one example has been given. The bond energy for the overlap decreases in the order 1s 1s greater than 2s 2s. That means 1s orbital, you know that it is closer to the nucleus, right? Therefore, if 1s orbital of one atom overlaps with the 1s orbital of another atom, then the extent of overlap will be more, okay, and bond energy is also more, okay, because this is closer to 1s orbital is closer to the nucleus, okay. Eighth postulate, overlap of atomic orbit along the molecular axis results in sigma sigma bond and pi bond, okay. Sigma C overlap atomic orbital along the molecular orbital, okay, molecular axis results in sigma bond and pi bond. Next slide. What are the limitations of valence bond theory? The theory cannot explain the formation of odd electron ions like H2 plus, He2 plus and Li2 plus. Okay. H2 plus contains odd electron, correct. H2 plus means one electron is removed from the molecule, therefore only one electron, that is odd electron. Similarly, helium atomic number 2, correct. 2 plus 2 is 4. Helium 2 atoms contain 4 electrons. But helium 2 plus is, He2 plus is 1 electron removed, that means 3, that is odd number, correct. Then lithium. Lithium has got atomic number 3. 2 lithium atoms have got 6, right? 6 electrons. If 1 electron is removed, that means 1 electron is lost. So therefore 5 electrons. Therefore 1, 3 and 5, that means all odd electrons. Okay. So this theory cannot explain the formation of odd electron ions like H2 plus, He2 plus and Li2 plus. Okay. Second limitation, the theory does not account for the magnetic property of certain molecules. For example, oxygen molecules. Oxygen molecule contains 2 oxygen atoms. This theory does not account for magnetic property of certain molecules like oxygen molecule. The theory cannot give proper explanation for the formation of coordinate bond. Okay. This theory, valence bond theory, does not give proper explanation for coordinate bond. How is the coordinate bond is formed? By the transference of one pair of electrons from the donor to the receiver, right? So coordinate bond is formed. So this theory cannot explain. Fourth this one limitation. Though the theory is simple, because it involves simple calculations, it is less accurate. This theory is very simple, considered as simple theory, and it involves a simple calculation. Okay. It involves simple calculation, therefore it is considered as less accurate. Alright. So we shall move to the next slide. Hybridization and shapes of molecules. Okay. Now what are the different types of hybridization and what are the different shapes of molecules? Now what is hybridization? First we shall see the definition of hybridization. Alright. The phenomenon of mixing up of orbitals of nearly same energy in the valence shell of an atom to form same number of orbitals of equal energy is called hybridization. So what are the essential characteristic features for the orbitals, okay, for hybridization? The combining orbitals must have nearly same energy, okay, nearly same energy. Then when they combine, they give rise to same number of orbitals, okay, same number of orbitals having equal energy. So that is called hybridization. Now hybridization involved and the corresponding shapes are given below. So based on hybridization, you can see here, based on hybridization, okay, based on hybridization we have got different shapes. If there is sp hybridization, what do you mean by sp hybridization? S orbital of one atom combines with or overlaps with the p orbital of another atom. Then the shape is linear. Okay. If there is sp2 hybridization, the shape is trigonal planar. If there is sp3 hybridization, the shape is tetrahedral. dsp2 square planar. Okay. sp3d trigonal bipyramidal. sp3d2 octahedral, or d2 sp3 is also octahedral. Okay. So these are the shapes based on what? Hybridization. Okay. Next slide. Now first we shall see sp hybridization. What is sp hybridization? What is the shape of sp hybridization and what is the bond angle? Okay. Mixing up of, what is sp hybridization? Mixing up of s and a p orbital in the valence shell, okay, of an atom to form two orbitals of equal energy. Okay, that is called what? Sp hybridization. So mixing up of one s orbital and one p orbital in the valence shell of an atom, giving two orbitals of equal energy. Okay, that is called what? Sp hybridization. So s orbital spherical in shape, you can see here, okay, blue colored atom. P orbital dumbbell shape, you can see here, okay, light peach color, okay, orbital. So when they combine, you can see sp hybridized orbital is formed having this shape, okay. Two orbitals are arranged in the linear shape. So linear shape is there, sp hybridized orbital. And what is the bond angle? Bond angle is 180 degree. Okay, bond angle is 180 degree. Example for sp hybridization is beryllium fluoride molecule. Okay, beryllium fluoride. What is the molecular formula of beryllium fluoride molecule? BeF2. The electronic configuration of central atom beryllium. So, which is the central atom in beryllium fluoride molecule? Beryllium atom is central atom. So, you must write the electronic configuration of central atom. Okay, beryllium atomic number is 4. Okay, beryllium atom atomic number 4. And what is the electronic configuration? 1s2, 2s2. Okay. When beryllium and fluorine atoms approach each other, when beryllium and fluorine atoms come closer or approach each other, one electron from 2s orbital gets excited to the empty 2p orbital. Okay, you can see here electronic configuration 1s2, 2s2, 2p0 ground state, correct. In the excited state you can see 1s2, 2s1, 2s electron has jumped into 2p orbital or excited to 2p orbital, correct. So, when the electronic configuration of beryllium in beryllium fluoride molecule, it will accept one electron of fluorine atom, okay, one electron fluorine atom, and here also in 2p orbital it will accept one electron of fluorine atom and thus forms beryllium fluoride molecule. Okay, and what type of hybridization? S and P overlap, therefore it is an example for sp hybridization. All right. So, next slide. The half-filled 2s orbital, okay, half-filled 2s orbital and 2p orbital, okay, half-filled 2s orbital of beryllium and then 2p orbital mix up, okay, to form sp hybridized orbitals of equal energy. Okay, they are arranged in linear shape. So, what is the shape of sp hybridized orbital? Linear shape. Okay. These half-filled orbitals then overlap with the half-filled 2p orbitals of two fluorine atoms. Okay, fluorine you know the atomic number 9. If you write the electronic configuration, you will find that one of 2p orbital is containing one electron. Okay, one electron. So, these will overlap to form two beryllium fluoride bonds. Okay, you can see the beryllium atom at the center. Okay, sp hybridized orbitals, it will overlap with the p orbital fluorine, p orbital of fluorine dumbbell shape. Okay, other side also it will overlap with the p orbital of fluorine, two fluorine atom, therefore one p orbital fluorine this side, left side, one p orbital of fluorine on the right side. Okay, overlap. Okay, forming what? Beryllium fluoride molecule. Therefore the molecule has a linear shape. Okay, the molecule has a linear shape. This is the bond diagram. Okay, this is the orbital diagram, this is the skeleton diagram or bond diagram. And bond angle, what is the bond angle? Beryllium atom is at the center, fluorine atom on the right side, another fluorine atom on the left side. Okay, bond angle is 180 degree. Okay, and what is the shape of the molecule? Linear shape. It has the linear shape. Now next we will see sp2 hybridization. Okay, mixing up of one s orbital with the two p orbitals in the valence shell of an atom to form three orbitals of equal energy is called sp2 hybridization. Okay, so how sp2 hybridization takes place? By mixing up of one s orbital. Okay, and how many p orbitals? Two p orbitals. Okay, giving rise to how many total orbitals? Three total orbitals. Okay, having equal energy. So that is called what? sp hybridization. Okay, and these orbitals are arranged in trigonal shape. What is the shape? Trigonal shape. Okay, with the bond angle of 120 degrees. What is the bond angle? 120 degrees. You can see here 2s orbital. Okay, 2p orbitals. Okay, 2p orbitals x and y combine to give rise to 3 sp2 hybridized orbitals. Okay, which is an example for this sp2 hybridization? Boron trifluoride molecule or BF3 molecule, which is the central atom present over here is boron atom. Okay, so electronic on boron is atomic number 5, 1s2, 2s2, 2p1, right? 2p1. Next slide. Outer electronic configuration of boron in the excited state. Okay, excited state, ground state it is given 1s2, 2s2, 2p1. Okay, excited state, one of the 2s electron, okay, jumps to 2p, okay, 2p orbital, 2p orbital. Okay, so structure of, so it has gone, so 1s2, 2s2 and then 2p. Okay, 1s2, 2s2 and then 2p1, 2p1. Okay, So one of the 2s electron jumps to 2p orbital, therefore it will have 3 unpaired electrons, correct? 3 unpaired electrons are present. In boron trifluoride molecule, it will combine with or overlap with the 3 p orbitals of fluorine. You can see here dotted arrows, okay? 3 p orbitals of fluorine, okay? These sp2 hybrid orbitals overlap with the 3p orbitals of 3 fluorine atoms, okay, forming what? The bond, okay, overlap forming bonds. So 1 2s and 2p orbitals mixed to form 3 sp2 hybrid orbitals of equal energy, okay. These half-filled orbitals then overlap with the half-filled 2p orbitals of 3 fluorine atom to form 3 bf, that is boron fluorine bonds. The shape of the molecule is trigonal planar. Since there is sp2 hybridization, what is the shape? Trigonal planar with the FBF bond angle is 120 degrees. So the bond angle is 120 degrees. Okay, can you see here the orbital diagram? 3 sp2 hybridized orbitals, light green colored one and light yellow colored one are p orbitals of fluorine atoms. Okay, fluorine atom overlap, okay, forming what? 3 boron fluorine bonds. Okay, what is the bond angle? 120 degrees. Alright, 120 degrees. So please go through the slides, all the slides, and if any difficulties in following, okay, please contact me, okay. So you are always welcome to clarify your doubts. Alright, thank you.